to me, you know what a joke is? You know what's the difference between a prostitute, politician, and big corporation? There,
Gone.
no, the politician is the whore of the group. The people that pays them is their pimps.
So the taxpayer, there's the public.
Yeah.
I am a pimp.
He just messed that joke up. That was probably that was one of Robert's bad jokes. Why I never encourage him to tell jokes.
But yeah, because you stop to think about it. Politics today, it runs around about these big old companies, and they have been, well, about 20 of them have been arrested for inside trading. The politicians, a bunch of them got busted for insider trading, selling favors and all that.
How many of them have been convicted? How many of them have been convicted? I mean, it doesn't matter if you arrest 1 million people. It's the convictions that are.
They never happen. They never happen. It's like if you take a look at all these people that get in trouble that are politicians, they never get arrested or they never get convicted of anything. I forgot who it was that was having a show the other day, and I freaking said that they ended up getting busted for some kind of sex trafficking or anything like that. And it was on Censorship Sucks, I believe, and I was in chat with Mark, and they said that these people were busted, and I said, yeah, but you know what? I mean, freaking Sibel Edmond was talking about the same shit freaking back in 2015, and nobody freaking gave a damn then. They ended up freaking there was a Illinois congressman that got busted, and he was the only one out of all of these people. Man.
Oh no, it was on the news about at one time about that. It was over 12 politicians and state troopers, Supreme Court judges as well, and a bunch of what you call family services as well, because they got a bunch of them, and they found out that that's how they were using the whole thing to travel them all over the U.S.
Again, alleged if there's not been any convictions, then there's only an allegation. Next time you listen to or watch the news, notice how many times they say convictions compared to how many times they say arrests.
Yeah.
And also stay away from Alex. Alex Jones will never freaking give you.
Is he still active?
No, he's not no more. His place finally got sold. It was on the news about the lawsuit that he got. There was a company that taken it over and doing a whole new thing with it, the building and all that. Probably seeing it next year.
I think he got really, really pissed off whenever he found out, like his son is completely the opposite of him, and when his son came out and started talking a lot of crazy shit about him, he just went freaking nuts. He could not believe he was sitting there saying that, because he has completely different views than what Alex Jones does.
Mm.
And
I mean, Alex Jones is foolish anyway. As soon as if I was in his position, and as soon as I realised that anything was going to happen to me, I would be putting my money up into offshore banks, stick it in a Swiss bank in Caymans.
Well, he's in trouble.
Then chase me. Good luck.
He's in trouble. I mean, any way you look at it, he's broke as a joke, and it's his whole freaking company. And that's what happens.
And then stick money into other companies, and then there's ways of legally laundering money.
now Now you thinking Alex Jones should launder money, Mark?
Legally. Use legal means of transfer money into hard to reach places.
Offshore accounts.
Well, like the Koch brothers here in the U.S., they're dirty as all get out, I guess, because they got in so much trouble here in the politics and that people, they stayed away. Well, except Hillary, I guess when she was running for office, she had the Koch brothers working backing her as well. But in the UK, he follows the keeping the clear and narrow, make sure everything's spotless and all that. But it was a thing on a thing about up in
Canada?
not Canada, but where Dad's from.
Norway?
No.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. They contaminated over 50 acres of their business, dropping all sorts of who knows what, and the people that does the thing of chemicals testing for the air quality and all that said that the area was so affiliated with that stuff that the water was not safe to drink or even to touch. There was organisms dead in it and all that.
There hasn't been any prosecutions on that, so again,
Yeah, but
as
they
far as
got
I'm
by with
aware,
it.
so again, I will use the term alleged.
Well, with Robert, you need to understand he's kind of like Mr. Robot, where he gets on. He likes to watch AON, and he likes to watch all of these quote unquote alternative media news groups that just throws shit out there that freaking isn't really. It's not real news. They just make shit up because they want freaking the views, and they want a lot of the national freaking news media is the ones that make freaking Fox News look mild. I mean,
Not aware of what channels you're talking about. What?
Mostly the ones that support Donald Trump and say that he's the freaking United States God and he's going to save us all, and
Hallelujah.
we're going to go to the freaking Orange Man heaven above because Jesus loves the Orange Man. As long as you, with these people, as long as you love Donald Trump and freaking love Jesus, freaking, you're good to go. But if you don't, you're just a bunch of heathens and you're freaking destroying the freaking world. And, all of our kids need to go back to freaking doing the Pledge of Allegiance in school and reading the Bible before they go.
And you're all going to go to the fiery pits.
Yeah, we're all just, and we're all not freaking equal under their view, even though the Constitution said that we are. Which that's something they don't like. They like a nationalist government where freaking you obeyed the rules and did what you were told.
Yeah, the Soviets.
Well, that's socialism. It's a different.
Not really. It comes right down the table.
Believe it or not,
Socialist, wider border church.
Nationalism. What they do is they freaking hit you up with a lot of bullshit morality that isn't true. They try to tell you freaking this is the way it is, and you don't believe in it, then you're a traitor to the cause.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the things we were talking about earlier. That groups, the suicide group, Roger. If you don't believe in what they're saying, you're like that.
Well, no, believe it or not, freaking Heaven's Gate was a lot nicer.
Remember, again, nationalism is a very broad church. You can be a moderate nationalist, wanting to protect your borders, wanting to protect the citizen. But yeah, again, it's got to be very careful about these terms and how you use those terms.
Nationalism is good if you want people to be patriotic, but when you start manipulating it and using it to your advantage so that you can push a movement go a little bit too far or a lot too far, and you can end up having some very, very bad things happening, like World War II.
Which I remind you was a National Socialist organization. So again, you've got to be very careful how you use words like nationalism, and socialism, because Britain's a relatively classical liberal socialist country, and that hasn't done us any, well, up to recently at least, it has been a relatively good thing.
You know, the thing though, when you talk about that though, you realize England, I mean, John Locke had to run exile away from it. They hunted him while he was on the run. You realize, like, he never slept.
Yeah, but we are talking about a different sort of era. We're talking about
Well, I mean, he was the grandfather of classic liberalism, and then like he came back. The only reason why he came back to England was because Cromwell freaking freed your government of monarchy, and he came back, but nobody ever. We may have covered it. He may have died just shortly before Cromwell lost power. And you guys brought the monarchy back. But he didn't.
yeah, again, Cromwell, after the wars, created a dictatorship of his own.
Well, he was a hero. I mean,
Depends. That's a matter of opinion. Depends on how you look at it. It depends. It depends on your perspective.
I would personally say that Cromwell was a being because he offered you guys.
Due to the Civil War, you could make an argument, but I could also make an argument that he was the villain because of the 5-year dictatorship afterwards.
Well, I mean, you've heard my take on it too, though, because it's like if you were in his situation, like he was actually part of the revolution, okay, and he watched men die under his command. Now, when you turn around and you have these people who aren't respectful of that, and they come back to you and say, "Look, we want a monarchy back," that would do stuff to me. It was me. I wouldn't be too happy about that either. So, you know, so you really have to, like you said, it's all a matter of perspective. You know what I mean? I would actually have been pissed off. They're really lucky he was as nice as what he was. I would have been like the French were with their frickin' nobles. Off with your heads. I would have gone town to town, and every person that was a noble would have had their heads cut. To be honest with you, that because you guys had 2 civil wars. You didn't have one. You had 2.
That's why I said wars. I used the plural.
But you know what I'm saying, though, right? Like, we only had 1. You guys had 2, man. I mean, the French only had 1 civil war. You know?
Yeah, and look at how the state turned out. Look at it at this present moment. Need I say more?